Hello, all, Xyceres here. So sometimes when I'm thinking up ideas and doing tests and whatnot, I come up with things that don't really fit into the general core gameplay loop of Meet Your Maker. It could be something that doesn't really work with how bases are thought of, like the combination lock, or maybe the it might make like a mini game or something similar to say the Lodestar test map where that doesn't work under the regular just play, but does work overall. And I noticed that some other people do this as well, because another example would be like a toy, and something that doesn't have a lot of practical purpose, but is kind of cool, which is more what this fits into. And is I've seen, for instance, a working binary calculator using dead man switch guards, which that is a whole thing. It's very cool to see. I don't recall the name of the map, unfortunately. But that's more the category of what we're dealing with here. So basically what's happened here is that I was testing what happens when a piston hits a mine, because I'd heard that that can be used to fling a projectile through hollow cubes and trigger them. And I was just kind of testing how does that interact with other things. So I found out that it doesn't hurt the player at all. It can't. But what it can do is if you hit the mine with the Fury's edge, it plays the deflect sound. It also triggers a block on the arc barrier, but not the lodestar, which I'm not sure how that's going to go. But anyway, so I set this up. This is this is what I call my batting cage. Obviously, there's no cage here, so it's not really a batting cage. But I've set this map up to kind of look like a baseball field. Got diamond, got a crowd over there, etc. Whatever. Not going too in detail into this. So what I've done here is this is covered on all sides except for this one, because it can only fire things in here. Technically, I have tried it where this one is uncovered. It could, because it can fire two mines, that would kind of work, but the problem is it gets desynced. Whereas if I leave it in this exact setup, it never gets desynced, and I get the most mines flung at the player. And so what we have here is, this is just a Death Blossom with just the overdrive mod. So you generate mines faster. That's important because it keeps the sync up properly. This is a regular piston. It can't have unstable because that would desync it from the thing, and what happens is if the piston is forward and the mine is floating, is just fired out, it will hang in the middle of this square because this square would be blocked. That's the problem that we need to keep them synced for. And then this whole setup breaks. You have to come in here and break this mine and then step back. Not ideal. With the setup, it shouldn't happen. And the reason that I've got this further away so that that can happen is because when you put it too close, the mine will often get hit while it's here, and that'll break the mine, and you'll have to wait for the full other cycle. So you end up with a lot more failed mines instead of mines being thrown. Whereas this setup, the mine is more likely to be traveling across here or be in the center already, which is perfect. That's what we're looking for. Yep, so we can't do that. You can put pulverize on this, that because pulverize syncs with the regular piston attacks in a multiple. It's two pulverized attacks for every one regular. The Death Blossom will still fling the mines out, but they'll get caught on the edge a lot more, and you just get a lot more failures for no real benefit. So yeah, just regular unmodded piston, Death Blossom with the speed creation mines, two spaces away, and just every other side covered. And what you end up with is just mines just being flung down the way, and then you can just try and hit them. So that's all for this. We'll just quickly show it off. And yeah, something that's really fun with this though is that it doesn't just fling them to here. If you can actually hit the player at the spawn all the way back here, it's useless. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't even play a sound when it hits them. But it is kind of fun sometimes. And the biggest problem is there's a bit of randomness with it, which A makes it really hard to hit because it will just randomly not be directly at the player. But yeah, the that also means that over a great length of space like this, it'll more often than not be like, swing down here or swing past the player or whatnot because it's quite a small target. But anyway, if you have any ideas for other silly things you'd like me to try and create, then feel free to put them in the comments. Or, yeah, any thoughts on how to improve this setup. I think you could probably make a mini game out of it pretty easily, just off of like shots you hit versus shots you don't. But I don't think it really needs it. It's just like a kind of fun thing. Oh, and this map, New Pittsburg, this will be on social for the foreseeable future. But now, let's just quickly show you the actual operation. Okay, so we're in the map. We're waiting for the mine to come. Got it. There have been so many failed attempts. This is not easy.